Last week, we read the latter part of the book of Judges. We read the book of Ruth, and we read some part of Samuel, First Samuel, and then we read Psalm 23. So, what is my takeaway from last week? In the book of Judges, of course, we read of how the judges judged the Israelites. But the book of Ruth is what I want to pull our attention to. And if you are familiar with the story of Ruth, about how she went with her mother-in-law, even when her husband died, and she stayed with her mother-in-law even after her other co-sister-in-law left. And we all know the genealogy of Ruth. Eventually, she became in one of the genealogy of the birth of Jesus Christ. And that's just because she was persistent. She was resilient. She knew what she wanted. She was not influenced by what other people were saying. She was not influenced by the noise that was going on around her, how people were talking about that, talking about her mother-in-law. She was focused. Ruth was focused, and she eventually got what she wanted. And she was eventually rewarded, I would say. And then in the book of Samuel, we read about the kings as well. When the children of Israel started asking for king, how Saul became the king, and how Saul forgot that he was not a priest. He did not stay in his lane, and because of that, he went ahead and made the sacrifice that eventually robbed him of his kingdom. And then we read about David. Remember last week I was saying about don't underestimate yourself. David knew who he was in the Lord. And that was why he was able to face Goliath, and he was able to defeat Goliath despite everything, every noise that was going on around him. He defeated Goliath because he knew who he was. He knew who he was. So I want you to know who you are in Christ. And then, of course, we read Psalm 23. Psalm 23 is almost a psalm that every one of us has read or know about. Even if we don't know all the entire psalm, we know surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And that is my prayer for you today, that the Lord will be your shepherd and he will meet you at the very point of your needs. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life, and you shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Have a blessed week.